Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Unreserved. I'm Kiana. I'm one of the producers on the team, and today we're talking about failure and the impact it has on how we live our lives.
Hi, my name is Smaranda. I'm running an event called Feel Like a Boss this year. I'm here with one of my team members, and we're really here to talk about what failure means and how we can overcome it. And
Hi, my name's Labiba. I'm part of Feel Like a Boss team. I'm the VP External, and we're going to talk about the vision of our event and what failure means to us and how we can internalize that to better our lives.
Okay, so the first thing I just want to shoot off into is the definition of success is already very subjective, but what do you guys define success to be?
Success is very subjective, and I think that it stems from what your goals are in life. And success can come from little wins in your life, and it adds up over time. And it could be as simple as I want to get into this club at school, or I want to get into this internship, or I want to be a better daughter or a better sister. And success can come through little things in life, and I think that's what it means to me personally. Is it's within your relationships, it's within your school, and it can be academically too. So don't just think of it as an overall one thing that it's career related.
So for the sake of this video, I actually kept the questions, like I agree with you based on definition, but I kept the questions more career and like goal based, which is kind of weird to say goal based because again, like we have different goals, we have different values, but I'm gonna lead that into one of the reasons I think you guys are even doing this event is because our generation is so obsessed with being successful, and as a result, like we take failure very seriously. Why do you guys think our generation is so bent on being successful?
so I know that for me, the biggest thing that scared me about failure was when I compared myself to others. You see everybody, they all share their successes and they all share things of where they are in life. And it's always positive. Nobody ever shares the negative, right? So with that, you always think this person is always uphill. Why am I not always uphill? And it's scary to try and do something where there's a risk of failure because then what if other people find out, right?
My parents were immigrants too when they came here, and I had to start working at the age of 15 because they faced a lot of financial struggles. Because I think that this could be considered a failure, but they had a really difficult time managing their finances, and so that put pressure on us. And so when we were not able to provide at times, because I was doing like two part-time jobs with high school, and all these things, there was a lot of pressure, and that affects your mental health at the end of the day. And I think after a certain age or during that time, I think people should be conscious of the fact that it's okay to fail. It's okay if your parents put pressure on you, but you need to understand how much you can handle and how much you're going to allow failures to affect you. Okay, you're doing two jobs and then maybe your grades are not as good, and there's a balance in that, and just keep trying. And that's essentially what's important at the end of the day. Don't let your grades define you. Don't let little failures be like wear it like a badge and be like, okay, I'm gonna take this and use it as a growth opportunity to get better.
We are all striving to achieve some form of success, and again, it's subjective because okay, my question is, do you guys think everyone can be successful?
Most people, not out of circumstance, they're not able to. A lot of times it's out of lack of work ethic and lack of taking learnings from your life. And after a certain point, everybody's excited in the beginning, right? So over time, that excitement, the enthusiasm towards success, it reduces. And I think that you really need to understand why you are moving towards success for you to fuel your passion and keep going. And that's essentially why a lot of people don't succeed even towards their career, is because they come near the end and they're like, oh my gosh, it's taking too much time. I'm sacrificing sleep, my mental health up to a certain point. And so, yeah, that's really
my response to this has always been, the thing is, we all have completely different lives. We are all running completely different races.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny that we try and compare ourselves to each other, because in a metaphorical term, like, you're running a marathon, meanwhile I'm swimming a 200-meter race. So it's not really fair for me to be like, oh, I'm so much slower than you, because this is a completely different life. I think what it comes down to is really defining success for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think defining success for yourself should be about having a longer purpose, something that can't just be checked off the list.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The best businesses, they all have a mission statement and a vision, and it has nothing to do with making money. It's always, and like, some of the best businesses are about empowering people or having a greater purpose. You know, like Microsoft is all about education and empowering people through technology. So it doesn't really matter the little steps that they take, or if one thing fails or one product fails and another succeeds,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day they have a greater purpose. And I think that that's really important, that it's something we can all learn to embrace in our own lives.
I agree with both of you, because I think it even boils down to looking just beyond, well, going more in depth with it. It's like people can't even achieve their resolutions, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's also like they put so much pressure that the future person, the future version of themselves can do these things that they aren't even willing to commit to now.
Exactly.
It's like, and you know, like the resolution thing, it's like, that's even just up in the air for me, because like, why do you need to wait like 20 days to do something when you could have started today? Like, and again, it's like the why. Like, why are you doing what you're saying you're doing?
Like, if your resolution is wake up 5 a.m. every day, well, why? Is it to be more productive in your day? Maybe waking up at 5 a.m. isn't the best way to be productive, you know? Yeah.
But also, I think that in terms of resolution, don't tie your don't feel like a failure when you don't get the resolutions right. And even if you don't get it done by that 1 month in January, because people think that's when I'm gonna get it down. In February, start something new, but start something with less resolutions. Tie your reasoning to it, make it stronger, and that's your attempt to, grow
Tiny
from
goals.
it.
Yeah. And if something doesn't work out, ask yourself, why isn't it working out?
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe I have to adjust something else in my life. If I can't wake up at 5 a.m., maybe it's because I'm going to bed at 2 a.m. You know? So maybe my goal should be going to bed before 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
and adjusting yourself in that way.
So I feel like it might have been like said throughout what we were saying, but I'll still say it individually. Where do you guys think most of our disappointment stems from when we fail?
I think that it's, immediately when you fail at something, you kind of think of like, oh, what are people going to think of me? That's what it ties down to. And a lot of times we don't hear the self-talk that we're doing. Mm-hmm. And I said a lot of times it's just, oh my gosh, like, I can't post this on social media now. Now I don't have like something to boast about, something that people are gonna think that I'm like amazing for.
A lot of times too, people don't even care.
Exactly.
Right?
Everybody
Yeah.
cares about themselves at the end of the day. Yeah. So.
Or people are just empathetic. They're like, I've been there. I get it. Girl or boy.
Exactly. Be more real about, your struggles and your disappointments. Maybe in social media, people should post that, look, I failed at this, I didn't get this job.
But what did I learn from it?
Yeah.
Don't throw a pity party, but
for sure. Yeah,
definitely.
But that's true though, because those are the people that people respect more. The
Mm-hmm.
people that have those like struggle stories, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the people that said, well, this knocked me down, this knocked me down, this knocked me down, but look at where I am today,
Yeah.
So this is more in line with what you guys are doing, with like your purpose and the mission behind it. Why do you guys, what message would you tell to people as to why it's okay to fail?
Because you can't succeed without failing.
Failure is the best way that we can learn about ourselves, understand how we need to grow in various parts of our life. And I think that anytime I think anybody has failed, or people call it an obstacle or a hurdle, I think I'm sure you had a breakthrough in your life of who you are as a person, and you've maybe you didn't get a job that you wanted to get, and you realize that, and first you'll question yourself. You'll be like, why didn't I get it? I must be stupid, or like I wasn't capable enough. But then the next day you might be working hard towards bettering your resume, bettering how you approach the situation. And then I've had that to me, like when I was trying to apply for part-time retail jobs, there was a time for 4 months I almost went on like 15 to 16 interviews, and I got rejected in all of them. And then after 2 months of applying again to different places, I changed my resume. I changed how I approach situations. I read up on different ways of, having a more unique position when you're trying to go up to them and talk to them. When you talk to employers, and all these things you keep practicing, and by the end of it you've grown a whole lot of confidence. Your fear is gone, and you end up with the job you want, or something better that you didn't expect. So failing is a key point in your life to help you mature and help you become a better version of yourself.
Recently I did a case competition that lasted around like 6 weeks long. And I had a personal goal for myself, was to be a good team member and really help. And also there was an opportunity to get an internship at the end of it. And I wasn't not great. I look back on it and I know that there were so many things that I could have done better. And I didn't get an internship at the end of it. Two kind of separate issues, but one was I realized, well, first of all, this was the first time I've ever been in a real team. You know, you do group projects at school, but they're not real teams because everybody just splits off and does their own thing. When you're in a real team and you have to rely on other people to achieve the same goal, it's a different game altogether, right?
Just to, throw the pun in there, how do you fail like a boss?
Do you want to take it?
So we have a little cheer. I'm just kidding.
You do?
Yeah, do the cheer.
Oh, okay.
Do it.
Yeah. Stand up.
If I put this on camera,
Well,
are you gonna like it?
I'll do it with you. I'll do it with you. Ready?
Okay.
Wait, which way are we going?
So, yeah.
Okay.
You guys
ready?
have an actual
Okay, ready?
routine?
Yes. 2, 3.
Fail like a boss.
Just look at her.
That was great. That was fun.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, how do you?
Well, you take every failure and you take it as a stepping stone, and you take it as a challenge, and you're like, this happened to me, but I'm going to change why. Like, you're going to internalize it, you're going to understand why it happened to you, and then you're going to change your approach, and that's how you essentially fail like a boss. And you're going to pat yourself on the back after you have basically went through that failure strongly and overcome your obstacle. And I think people need to celebrate when they've failed and learned from it, because a lot of times they're too much into the fact that, oh my gosh, I feel really bad that I have, I didn't achieve this, or I have this obstacle in my life. So change your attitude, and that's what essentially the idea of the boss comes in, is having a strong attitude towards failure.
Yeah, so we have 3 pillars that we go off of, and it's take risks, build resilience, and stay driven towards your purpose, and just keep going